Hi, I'm James White. I'm a real estate agent in Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, Genesee, Monroe counties. I'm a listing agent, actually, a seller's representative specialist, and I'm currently employed through Simply Home Real Estate. Today, I'm here to talk to you about this market and selling your home. If you are looking to buy or sell, right now is a particularly special kind of time. We're going through a market shift. When the market shifts, it goes from seller to buyer market or buyers to sellers market. And right now it's kind of a catch 22, kind of somewhere in between. If you're buying, you can get concessions from sellers and cuz houses tend to sit for a minute. Not all houses, but a lot. And if you're a seller, you may have to give concessions. You may have to give concessions. You definitely want to offer to pay the buyer's agent, and you want to make updates to your property. The reason why this is particularly a good time for sellers is because prices are still elevated. Prices right now are as high as I've ever seen them. That has something to do with why they sit. It also has to do with the interest rates. Between the prices and the interest rates, a lot of potential buyers are sitting on the sidelines and they're waiting. They're actually waiting on the market to crash, but we don't see a crash in sight. Now, the economy slow down, yes. Housing market crash, no. But this is where you can benefit because your home is worth more than it was last year. Your home is worth more, significantly more than it was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. If you've owned your home for longer than 4 or 5 years, you are in for a treat when you sell. Now, what you want to do is you want to devise a strategy with your real estate agent. Hopefully, that agent would be me because some people just don't understand. Now, I understand because I list houses for what people want to sell them for. I want to do what you want to do because I want to make it good for you at the end. You're my client after all, and my objective is your objective. Maybe I said it in a way that I should have said it backwards, but your objective is my objective. We are working toward the same thing, and I'm leaning towards making you happy. So now, the first thing we want to do is make sure that you have a marketable title. So as soon as you sign a listing agreement, I'm sending this listing agreement to the title company to make sure that there's nothing outstanding. Nobody's going to come along down the line and stop this sale. We need to be able to close. And if there's anything that needs to be tightened up, because there have been things that came up that people weren't expecting, and we've been able to settle those situations. And I've also been in situations to where we were not, or the seller had to go file suit to quiet title with the court. Now, we want to avoid all of that kind of stuff. And the only reason why I'm good about it is because of past experiences. I'm not just a seller's representative specialist because I have a certificate and I took a class. I'm a seller's representative specialist in real life because of real life experiences. So that's why I said we start with title. Also, we want to make sure that all of the deferred maintenance is not deferred. We want to make sure that the maintenance is up to date. We want to have an inspection on the furnace. We want to make sure that everything is in good working order. Light bulbs changed, things need to be cleaned up. And I even go as far as helping out with yard work. We want the nice edge, the shrubs trimmed. We want to make sure everything's good and clean, especially for the pictures. Because you don't have to have professional pictures, but professional pictures work. But we want to have real pictures. We want to have real pictures the way that it looks so as not to manipulate the people that's coming to see it. Because technically, we don't want anybody coming in to see it just to trick them in, just to make them think that it's something that it's not. We want to, even if there are defects, we want to outline those as well. That way, when people come, they know what they're expecting, and the people that come are serious. So, now that the maintenance is good and the title is good, if there are any updates that you might want to make within reason, then we want to make those too. Once we get going, we list the property. It's about the price. What exactly is it that we're selling? And what is it that you're actually content with accepting and walking away with? We don't want to try to get the price higher than what it needs to be. Why? Because just because you price it reasonably or a little bit low, if you're willing to accept lower, does not mean that that's what it's going to sell for. Now, true enough, there are buyers that are sitting on the sidelines that just won't even move right now. But that's not to say that there aren't plenty of buyers out there. And a lot of buyers just don't see what they're looking for because they don't have agents explaining why they need to tighten up the house. I've seen houses with the trim, the carpet, the doorknobs, light switch covers, receptacles, vents, things that are very, very insignificant to replace that people just leave. And I mean, $100 could go a long way when you're looking at stuff like that. And especially when you're trying to make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars off of your property. So we need to tighten up all the loose ends. We don't need people coming in and making a big deal out of nothing. So if we price the house reasonably and we're good to go as far as all of the maintenance, and if we do a few updates, then we're in good shape. But what we need to do after we price the house right is we need to make sure that you're paying the buyer's agent. Since August 17, 2024, they had a class action lawsuit and they started implementing practices where we have to find out what the seller's agent, the seller is paying as far as closing costs. Not closing costs, as far as the commission for the buyer's agent, because our contract with our buyers has the buyer paying the commission. And that's just as a safeguard, just in case we get in a situation where the seller is not paying the commission. Now, where this is problematic at is it's hard sometimes for the buyer to come up with enough money to close, let alone pay for the commission for their agent as well. It's not to say that there aren't buyers who can, but you're going to limit your options. And you want to have as many clients come through as possible to see and hopefully submit offers. So if you're paying a commission, then that's good. If you're paying for concessions, that's even better. Now, I, as a seller's agent, assuming that the price is right and you're paying a full commission, I'm going to pay for a home warranty. Now, technically, my job is definitely not to pay for a home warranty. My job is to advise you as a seller or advise my buyer that home warranties are available if you or they would like to purchase one. But I offer to my sellers to pay for a home warranty for the buyer, which helps to ease the impact of the inspection report. Because when the inspector comes and they do an inspection, it's an independent inspection. This is not the city. This inspection is done by an independent inspector who's being paid by the buyer to go and find out everything that's wrong with the property. There's always going to be something for the inspector to complain about, which is why I do recommend that the seller have a seller's inspection before we even list the property too. However, that's pretty much unlikely. Most sellers don't want to do it, and it's not necessarily something that you have to do because you can cross that line when you get to it. But if you already have an inspection report, you'll know those things that need to be tightened up before the inspection so that when they come through, you're already either aware of it or there's nothing else to complain about. And that's good. That's what you want. You want a smooth transaction. But if you don't want to spend those extra $300 right in the beginning, then that's understandable. So basically what I'm saying is, in short, first, you want to make sure the title is marketable, that we can close. Second, we want to make sure that all of the deferred maintenance is done, and if there's any updates, we can take care of those. We want to make sure that we're offering to pay the buyer's agent's commission. And in those situations where I'm working out a deal, I'm still going to make sure that the buyer's agent is taken care of. So I'm willing to accept a little bit less on my end to make sure that they getting what they're expecting so that they can bring more buyers. And then offering also a home inspection if I'm getting the full commission. Otherwise, maybe you might want to do it. Maybe we don't. Maybe you don't want to do updates. Maybe we're selling as is. Either way, once we price it right and take care of everything else, you should be able to sell your home and fast. It's what we want. It's for somebody to walk in. Everybody, when they walk in, to like it. They're here for a reason. If the home meets the criteria, that's why they're looking at it. If they have, let's say, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a basement, and a garage, and that's what they're looking for in this area, that's why they're here. So now it's not about the neighborhood, it's not about the area, it's not about the particular criteria that the home meets. It's about the condition and price of your home. So if you have it in good condition, you're offering to pay for the buyer's agent, you have a home warranty, and you're willing to give concessions to help pay for the closing costs, we can pretty much call it a wrap. I'm a seller's rep specialist. I can help you. I work the Oakland, Macomb, Genesee, and Wayne counties personally. And I'm also a part of different networks where I can help you anywhere around the country to find a good agent in your area that can help you. So if you need me, call 248-891-3876. I look forward to hearing from you soon. And you can visit my website at jwhitepropertysale.com. That's jwhitepropertysale.com. Have a good day.